This is Mike Sylvia with New Bedford Guide. We'll continue the conversation tonight for the October 3rd elections, Meet the Candidates. We're here with Paul Chasse for Ward 5. So, Paul, tell us why the New Bedford residents should vote for you on October 3rd.
Sure. Well, thank you for having us. I really appreciate the New Bedford Guide and the opportunity you give some of these candidates like myself who are not necessarily as well known to have a venue to introduce myself and to take a few questions. So my name is Paul Chasse. I am running for Ward 5 City Council. I am currently the CEO of the Realtor Association of Southeastern Massachusetts. We have offices in New Bedford and Taunton. Basically, for those who don't know what the Realtor Association is, we're the Chamber of Commerce for real estate agents and brokers. So that's what I do full time. Aside from that, I also sit on the Massachusetts Association of Realtors Government Affairs Committee, and I also sit on the National Association of Realtors State and Local Issues Committee. And the reason why I bring that up is just simply because I have some advocacy experience locally, statewide, and nationally, and I'd like to use that as we move forward in the election and forward as the election goes on. So beyond that, locally, I am also the chairman for the Realtor Boston Coalition. Now, the Realtor Boston Coalition was founded about 4 years ago in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce's and some other folks. We're a public-private entity coalition, and basically what we do is advocate for the reestablishment of South Coast Rail, which we've got some good news recently on, which we could talk about if someone has a question on that. So I've got some advocacy experience that I would like to bring to the City Council, and some experience as a resident, 43-year resident of the City of New Bedford, a father of 2 boys, and happily married for 25 years this past April. So that's just a little background about myself.
Okay, so I'll ask some questions. So you're running for Ward 5. I'm sure you're out doing handshakes, knocking on doors. So what have you heard as the biggest priorities for Ward 5 residents?
Sure. So we've been out there since early May, and really out there just talking with people, talking with residents and business owners. The biggest issue that I've been hearing around the Ward 5 area is taxes, and taxes seems to be the big one. And I'll say, not seems to be, as a property owner myself, taxes are expensive and they continue to go up. And that is an area that I would like to focus on. Being in the Realtor Association, I can tell you that I've worked with, I've dealt with, I've talked to investors, I've talked to people with companies, some people that say they don't necessarily want to come to New Bedford to do business. And it's not in a negative way, but just that they can't afford New Bedford taxes, or, you know, it's not as they call business friendly. Really, the reason why I got into this was because of that, because of those comments. I would like to see New Bedford continue to move forward in a progressive manner and be more business friendly than it is right now. We have a lot going for us. We have a great economic development council, but I think there are things we can do to streamline permitting processes, help our building department, support services, whatever we can do to streamline some of these processes and bring businesses, more businesses to New Bedford. We have to grow the business. We have to grow the businesses of New Bedford, small and large businesses. We need to grow the tax base in order to get taxes under control.
So besides being a ward councilor, you're also advocating for the city. So what's the biggest priority for the city of New Bedford, all 6 wards?
Okay, so what I will say is my first priority as a Ward 5 councilor is the residents of Ward 5. So beyond the issues of Ward 5, I would say that economic development is one of the big issues, as well as crime. You know, last year it was touted that crime had been down, and I subscribe to that fact. But I think this past spring and this summer especially, you know, we've seen a pretty significant hike in the issue of crime. The New Bedford Police Department has done an incredible job. I mean, we see it every single day in the newspaper. You know, one arrest after another, drug busts, and I think that's great. I think we're doing a good job, but I think there are things we can do maybe to enhance that. One of them is community policing. So I think we need to do more community policing. I think we are doing a great job with the High Five Fridays. I think, you know, there's twofold here when it comes to crime. One is what we can do to be proactive now, and what we need to do to be proactive in the future with kids growing up. And that High Five Friday, I think, is one great way that the officers connect with the kids. And I think it's important to continue that and grow that. That and education within the school is what's going to be important as these kids grow up into young adults. And then facing crime right now and the issue of crime immediately, I would say we need more community policing, and we need to ensure that the budget that we have for the city, for the police department, is being utilized fully, that we don't have any money at the end of the year. I'm all for saving money, but not in public safety. We want to use all the money we can that's within the police department's budget for the police so we can be out there preventing crime.
So Jason said there's a ongoing issue with the permit process for building improvements and disparity with city inspectors enforcing codes. Would you be for auditing this process to help ease the property improvement process?
We definitely need to look at different ways of streamlining permitting. I've talked to business owners that were going to open up in 1 month, and 3 months later they're opening up, 4 months later they're opening up. And it's not to say there's any one specific problem or there's one specific solution, but I think we need to get together, especially as a city council. I think we need to look at how we can better support the building department. Are there processes in place that maybe we can streamline? Is there technology that we can utilize to enhance those permitting processes and really help to take from what we're trying to advocate for the city and bring it through to fruition for these businesses that want to build here?
So David Aruda asks, in your role to represent the residents of Ward 5, what leadership qualities, experience can you bring to the residents?
So I think that I'm uniquely qualified in the fact that I've never held political office, but I have a lot of advocacy experience. I've worked for over 20 years in the Realtor Association. We've advocated for things like no transfer taxes. We were just able to extend flood insurance by 3 months on the national level through the organization, through the efforts of the National Association of Realtors. So I have a lot of advocacy experience. I've testified in the State House. I have parliamentary procedure experience within the association itself in running the association. So I think I can bring advocacy experience to the ward that is desperately needed.
Okay, so let's say you do win the position, your Ward 5 councilor on January 20th. What's the first thing you're going to do?
First thing I'm going to do is talk to the residents of Ward 5 again and see what direction they feel we need to go in as a ward. Again, understanding that as a Ward 5 representative, my first responsibility is to Ward 5 and whatever that may be. And there are a lot of little things within the ward that I've talked to people about, whether it be ordinances or zoning or streets and sidewalks to trees that we need to replant. So my first priority is to Ward 5 residents. Beyond that, then yes, for the city, it's economic development, it's crime, and it's safe schools too. We need to ensure that we have schools that are safe, that the kids feel safe in, and that they're getting good education. We've come a long way with the education in New Bedford in the school system, and we have some terrific teachers. I've got a 17-year-old at New Bedford High School that is a junior and just doing so well at New Bedford High School, and it's because we have terrific teachers, and we just need to continue moving forward with the education.
Panhandling, here to stay or something we can solve?
I hope we can solve it. I know it's not an easy task because I know there are First Amendment laws and there are rules in the books, but that doesn't mean we don't stop trying. We need to continue to try. And I think, education is part of it, and it's easy to say that we need to continue to get the word out there for people to say, hey, if you're going to donate, then donate through certain charities, certain causes, because it's really not helping anybody with the panhandling situation. But I think we need to wrap our hands around it a little bit more and continue to work. I don't think we give up on it at all.
Okay, so last question. What's the best thing about New Bedford?
There's a lot of good things about New Bedford. I'll start again with the Ward 5, because Ward 5, we have a unique ward in Ward 5. We've got the largest employer in South Coast Health Systems. We've got arguably one of the best family destination spots in the Buttonwood Park Zoo, which we have thousands and thousands of people going through every single year. We've got the Buttonwood Park itself. Beyond that, I mean, the culture, the fishing industry, the history we have. It's just that's what drove me to do this to begin with, is my love for the city, and I think we have a very diverse city and a city that is on the rise and continuing to move forward. So there's a lot of great things about the city.
Okay, so this is Ward 5 candidate Paul Chasse. Up next at 8:45, Jojo Fords for Ward 4. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.